Welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here. We're immensely proud to offer this opportunity to edify the community about this offering that we have, this what we consider one of the best kept secrets in Bakersfield, our Master's in Education with an emphasis in curriculum and instruction. So this is an information session designed to impart you with information and to allow you to ask questions to gain clarity about some of our offerings. So to back up, my name is Dr. David Sandals, and I'm the director of the Master's in Education with an emphasis in curriculum and instruction, colloquially called C&I. So sometimes you'll hear us throughout the presentation call this program C&I, but we're referring to the Master's in Education broadly. I know many of you have questions you're burning to ask. I promise you we will address them, but in routes to those questions, we want to give you some context leading up to those questions, who we are as a unit, what our offerings are, and so forth. So we're going to give you an overview of the program, talk about some of the courses, the electives, some of the supplemental authorizations and professional certificates, and then we'll talk about some of the admissions stuff that I know that you really want to get to. So without further ado, let me just also say, the link listed here I will put into the chat so that you have access to it. This is our online component. You can go online and get a lot of the information you're going to hear here today. It'll also deepen your understanding about some of the things that you hear today. With that, I want to talk very broadly about our program. So our C&I program, remember curriculum and instruction, our C&I program is a program that is entirely online for candidates. We want to provide these students with access to our program and the opportunity to relate at home, to be comfortable and to relate with our instructors in the ease of their home. One feature that's not listed on our website and that you won't find here is that we are very, very much customer service oriented. We believe strongly in trying to deliver the strong product to our clients, our customers, who are you, the students, but we're committed to providing you with what you need to be successful. But please know the program is entirely online, and that's without exception. Each course is online. There might be Zoom sessions depending on your course and your instructor, but just bear that in mind. Another feature of the program that we're very proud of is that it is CTC, California Teaching Commission, CTC and WASC approved. WASC is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. And so it has that certification that's stamped as the certified legitimate program. It's a long-standing program, and we're very proud of that. Another feature about which we're very, very proud in the C&I program is that all of our instructors possess terminal degrees, meaning all of them are doctors somewhat. So whether it's a PhD, a PsyD, or an EDD, all of us are immensely qualified. And then something of note, we'll talk about more of this later as it relates to the core courses and the electives. C&I program overall is a 30-unit program. What you will hear later, and what is of interest to many of you, I'm quite sure, is that many of you will transfer in some of your existing units from your credential coursework, which is a boon to you because that really shortens your tenure as a master's candidate. But just bear in mind, generally speaking, it's a 30-unit program, and it's packed, chock full of a wide array of courses, starting with our core courses. You'll see those depicted on the screen in front of you. So very wide-ranging, beginning with our research methods course, a very impactful course, a course that serves as the foundation for all of your subsequent learning. 6200 is one that people reference quite often as the diversity and social justice course. It's taught by one of our instructors who's in attendance, Dr. Alice Hayes. I believe Dr. Adriana Cervantes Gonzalez also teaches that course. Educational leadership is another course that gets rave reviews. It goes on leadership theory in general, and then it leads into educational leadership, which is the striven for goal for those who are looking to become leaders within educative contexts. And finally, we have our curriculum development and transformation course within the courses. So you'll note that each of these courses has a 3 at the very end of it, at the course title, and that indicates the units. So these are 3-unit courses. The core courses constitute the 12 unit, I should say, core. The rest of the 30 units are made up of electives and what is called your culminating activity. So you'll hear more about that in just a few moments. But please just bear in mind, the core courses must be taken. Beyond that, you have some latitude in terms of the courses that you want to take. To that point, we have a number of elective courses. I mean, there's no shortage, in fact, of elective courses. That's one of the beautiful things about this program, in addition to many others. So I'll read this as follows. The elective coursework can be comprised of a combination of reading literacy, advanced topics, and approved credential courses. So the advanced topics component is very wide ranging. We offer a number of courses. They're listed on the website, in fact, but there are a number of courses, including one of our current offerings, cultural perspectives in today's classrooms, which is a really well-received course. It's currently underway, in fact, among many others. I spoke to this a little while ago, but this is the culminating activity. Dr. Hayes will speak to this more deeply in just a little bit. But at the end of your tenure, you'll have to evidence your competency. You'll do that via your culminating activity. I gave you a really quick and dirty synopsis of the initial phases of the program, and you'll see I also gave you a touched on very briefly the culminating components that'll be touched on more briefly. But broadly, this is how you're going to transition into that transformational professional who comes out of our program and who is equipped with what we call social justice orientation, an equity lens. You're very diversity focused, all those different melanges of ideas that speak to the transformations that you can impart in schools. The one thing I want to do moving forward is I want to capture some information that came from one of our students. And I found this really revelatory because I was speaking with a candidate earlier today, and haphazardly, on a lark, she started talking about some things that were germane to her and our program, CNI, and I captured some of it on footage, but I actually asked her to repeat it for me. So you'll see this candidate speaking about some of the merits of our program, and I hope that you find her anecdote as compelling as I did. And it goes as follows.
I would strongly recommend anyone who is working with children or students in the future to really go for their master's. You will find the courses to be very life-changing and impactful with topics such as social justice. As you walk out of that program, you will become this empowered, multidimensional, and culturally aware teacher. And these are the things and characteristics that you will want to bring to your kids in the classroom because you want them to feel included, considered, and loved for who they are. I would strongly recommend anyone.
So what that represents to me is this opportunity for you as educators to transform yourselves as practitioners, both on a professional and a personal level. And really what it shows is that this student who just happened to be speaking about our program generally and was able to capture some of that footage, understands the power and the impact of our program and some of the offerings that we provide. So we hope that you are all strongly considering, on the strength of some of these things and others, the merits of our program, and we hope that you all potentially become candidates. We'd love to service you all. So with that, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to transition. We are going to segue to my colleague, who's going to speak to you about one of our potential offerings, our computer science authorization. Dr. Brittany Beck, you're up, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. And my nephew has impeccable timing. I was hoping he would sleep through this, but he is going to be with us as my co-host. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, continue. And I'm actually, before I do that, I'm going to input this presentation into the chat. So you'll have all of this information, can reference it later, and there's my email address is also embedded on the last slide. So if you have additional questions or want to follow up or are ready to register, you can send that to me too. Okay, so we are launching this summer the introductory computer science supplementary authorization. And this project is being funded by the Citizen Scientist Project, which is designed to build the capacity to apply for K-12 educators and their students to apply their budding C-STEAM competencies to identify and address issues of community concern in collaboration with local scientists and community agencies. And in doing so, we hope to democratize science by including more diverse voices in question posing, data collection, data analysis, and data-informed advocacy. And those are the lens that we bring to the supplementary authorization in computer science. So this authorization in computer science is not only relevant because of the new K-12 California computer science standards that recently came out, but computer science is increasingly becoming an interdisciplinary part of the California frameworks and standards that we have. There's the new CSU quantitative reasoning requirement, the 2021 California mathematics framework, NGSS practices with their specific emphasis on computational thinking, highlight the work of computer science. And then here's a link to how computer science can also link to social science disciplines. So I was just reading an article this morning that talked about debugging democracy and how computational thinking as a mindset and a lens through which to view the world and to view the problems of our world can help us become better problem solvers on the social issues that are impacting our local and global community. It's a little bit about why computer science. And so as a result, because computer science is inherently multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary, we take a rigorous, relevant, and community embedded approach to computer science. And the whole program is based on project-based learning. So in each of the different courses and the way in which we weave them together, you're working on projects that are relevant to your specific context. And we also use the lens of citizen science, which you'll learn more about if you become involved in this particular program. To note is the introductory supplementary authorization can be added to multiple subject or single subjects credentials, and it authorizes the holder to teach computer science in grades 9 and below. We also have a partnership with CSU Dominguez Hills. If you're interested in the specific supplementary authorization, which will qualify you to teach computer science courses at the 9 through 12 level, we have a partnership where we can refer you to their supplementary authorization program, and you just have to email me and we can make those connections for you. For whom is this relevant? Any teacher or administrator interested in furthering their knowledge in computer science education. It's a very inclusive approach to computer science teaching and learning, and so you don't have to have any prior knowledge of computer science. We've designed the courses to be differentiated, to meet you where you are, and to also have you provide opportunities for you to work at your own pace. And if you come in with tons of knowledge about computer science, we can also help you to take it to the next level and provide a more advanced curriculum for you. What's wonderful about our program is that in order to get CTC approval and to earn your authorization, all of the courses have to be taught by computer science faculty. And so you're being taught by leaders in the field. However, it's also a partnership between computer science and teacher education. So you're going to get the best of computer science expertise and the best of curriculum and pedagogy through co-teaching approach to each of the different courses. You will earn the supplementary authorization over the course of a single summer. So this summer, our timeline is June 1st through August 13th. And you'll take the 4 courses concurrently. You can take them as standalone or as part of your electives for the CNI Master's program on a case-by-case basis. Now, it's 4 courses in a summer sounds like a lot. However, we are kind of gamifying the experience and weaving the courses together. So each of the courses, while they're being taught concurrently, they'll be foregrounded and backgrounded at different times in the semester to ensure that you have the fundamentals before you're expected to apply any of the different content. And I think one of the coolest parts about this, the Citizen Scientist Project is made possible by a $4.8 million grant from the United States Department of Education. And we're in year 3 of that grant. So the first year we're launching, it's our first pilot cohort. And so through that grant, we are not only contributing to the development of the supplemental authorization, but we're going to be able to offer full scholarships to anyone who is interested in taking all 4 courses with us this summer. And then here is my contact information. In order to sign up, you will contact either me directly or Rhonda directly or both of us. And because it's our pilot, we're going to just curate that experience for you. And we'll make sure that if you want to sign up, we'll walk you through all of the different steps to do that. And that's my 5 minutes.
Dr. Beck, thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful visual you're providing everyone. The baby.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I hope he threw up several times while I was doing that. So I tried to not put that into your view.
Absolutely adorable. Thank you. So next, we're going to segue to Dr. Edwin Gonzalez, who's going to talk to us about a professional certificate, namely the EdTech certificate. Gonzalez, you're up, sir.
Sorry about that. Let me see. All right, so this is the Leadership in Educational Technology certificate, and this certificate actually came as a response to some of the needs that local educators were talking about, especially as everything has been changing and transitioning over the last, well, really this entire century. What can we have, in our area, in our community, that will represent, the students that we're working with and the educators that we're working with. So this certificate actually came about with conversations with local teachers, input from teachers, input from instructional specialists, and input from administrators. What came out of it were 3 courses. The first course is Innovative Lesson Design and Technology Integration. Within this course, what you do as a signature assignment is you're actually a part of a community bank of lessons where you create inquiry-based lessons that include Genius Hour, gamified learning, 5E lessons, flip learning, and then you kind of just juice it all up and make it more dynamic with the technology that you have available within your setting. The next assignment that came out of there was collaborative, blended, and online learning experiences. And within this signature assignment, you create and you optimize for online collaboration. Some of this gets really specific into what your setting is, but you'll see a couple of examples of those come out in the next couple slides. And then finally, the last course is educational technology for the K-12 leader. And you'll see some you'll see what those examples will be coming up, because the first offering of this course actually comes this summer. So with the innovative lesson design and technology integration, one of the exemplar lessons that came out in the fall was a kinder teacher who was actually fully virtual and online, who decided to go about and really push the boundaries of what kindergarten students can actually do in an online setting. And she created a fully project-based learning experience where kids were documenting what they were doing through verbal, video, through these little gestures, or through these little journals that they were documenting notes and pictures. And at the end, she came out with this dynamic experience that she was able to share with the entire group and really show the possibilities of innovative lesson design with our youngest students in a very difficult setting. This last quarter, we actually had another teacher who, within her signature assignment in the collaborative, blended, and online learning experience, talk about how her school, she came in as an administrator, and how her school collaborated with a local doctor to talk about emergency medicine and epidemiology. And in the video, she actually documents the entire process and mentions how everything, kind of how it all unfolded and her school's reaction to it. So again, we really try and tailor the lessons, the work, the theory, the research to what your current setting is. And then finally, this class hasn't launched yet, but there's potential for your examples to be here. This class will be focusing on professional development, community engagement, and student agency, all within the realm of educational technology for the K-12 leader. So that's my piece.
So I'm going to add a little bit to that for anybody that might be wondering. If you're in the CNI program, you can take one or all of those courses. You don't have to apply to the certificate program. If you're part of the CNI, if you're part of the CNI program already and admitted to that program, you can just take them as electives. You can take one or all three as electives. If you take all three, you notify us, and then you'll be able to get a certificate for the your program. If you have friends who already have a CNI master's degree or any other master's degree isn't interested in that, they can also apply to just take the 3 classes for the certificate.
Thank you, Rhonda. We are going to segue next to Dr. Suleiman, who will speak about a supplemental authorization of reading language arts.
All right. Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mahmoud Suleiman, and I do appreciate all of you, including my colleagues who have done presentations. And I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but I want to share with you just briefly main highlights of the program. This is a certificate program, and Dr. Sandals also alluded to the fact that we have not only state accreditation, so this is accredited by the state, but also we have had always national accreditation subsumed under CAPE and INCAPE. Right now we are seeking accreditation using a new paradigm called AQUIP, which stands for Association for Advancing Quality in Education in Educator Preparation. So we have all kinds of rubber of stamps of integrity that give us solace in what we are doing based on the rigor and the delicate balance between knowledge and skills needed of all teachers and professionals in the K through 12 system. So our program basically consists of 4 courses ranging from foundations of literacy to certain aspects of the language development in young learners, and also it includes some field-based components where we have participants in the program capitalize on what they are doing. They do micro teaching and we analyze it. We work with them implementing the best practices based on the proven and tested research and theoretical models in reading and literacy research. It is a K through 12 certificate. So our courses actually are designed as such to appeal and meet the needs of teachers in the K through 12 schools. Again, it consists of 4 courses, and this is the good thing. We used to have, actually, Dr. Sandals took advantage of that when we had a master's in reading and literacy. Now, back about 10 years ago, what we did, we addressed the new standards based on the state requirements and paradigms and shifting trends in literacy education, and we created an area of emphasis. So you can actually use those 4 courses as part of the elective units needed to complete a CNI, a master's in CNI, and you can never go wrong. So actually, most of the candidates actually take advantage of that and not only get a master's in curriculum instruction, but also get a state certificate to teach reading language arts. It's an added authorization. A lot of consumers of that program actually have found a lot of ways and opened a lot of doors and opportunities for them in the district, ranging from becoming academic coaches to literacy coaches to curriculum coaches at the school and district levels. We are in the process actually of disseminating all that on the website because it's offered through the extended university. So we'll put a brochure together, but meanwhile, feel free to reach out to us. I should be listed in the system. And if you have any questions or if you need more information, just reach out to us. So I hope I did not go beyond the 3 or 5 minutes, Dr. Sandals. Thank you.
You are perfectly fine, sir. Thank you so much for that encapsulation.
Okay, I wanna just add again, anyone can take one or all of those courses for that. They don't have to do the entire authorization program. They can just take one or two of the classes if they want to. They just then will notify us at the end if they've taken them all, so they can apply to CTC because our campus will recommend them for that. And I also want to add, it is one of our most popular added values of the CNI program. We began with offering one class a term, moved up to 2 classes a term, and now we offer all 4 classes for that supplemental authorization every term. So, and they all have between 25 and 35 students in them. So it's a very popular program, and we get a lot of positive feedback from that program. The faculty is excellent, so.
I'm glad we're recording this.
Rhonda. Okay, so next we're going to transition to Dr. Alice Hayes, who's going to talk about the aforementioned culminating examination.
And I do feel the need real quick to pitch another elective course, YA Literature in the Community, which is another option that I teach because there's lots of science and so many amazing options, which, I mean, really for this program, you just have so many great choices. So it's another option for you.
Okay, Alice, let me jump in really quick on that. Yes, we have the added authorization. We have a certificate. If neither of those things are interesting to you, we offer every summer, there are new advanced topics courses that are pitched by the faculty, and they're usually the most cutting edge topics of the time. We have random, I can't think of now what our learning, we offer different topics all the time, but like we offer the social justice advanced topic, we offer the literacy, children's literature advanced topic, and we've offered Common Core advanced topics and some of the emphasis on math. So it's just, when you come into the program, you're not limited to any of these things that we're talking about. And if there's a topic you're interested in that it looks like some of our faculty, it's also possible to pitch an idea to a faculty member and they might actually offer that course in a future term.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. For core courses, you can go to the next one. Thank you, Dr. Sandals. The 4 core courses, 62, 61, 62, and 63, and 6400, research, diversity, social justice, ed leadership, and curriculum development and transformation are the core of our program. And so at the end of everything, you will take your culminating exam. And so the steps for that, first you register for the exam, you'll have 8 options. So each one of those core courses submits 2 topics, 2 questions. You will choose one, you'll choose a total of 3 from different categories. So you have choices. If there's a class that just didn't click for you, you can focus on the other 3 courses and within their options. You will then write 8 to 10 pages on each topic, using 8 to 10 peer-reviewed sources per paper. Throughout the course of that actual class that you take, you will be well prepared. The literature that you read in the class will inform that final document in many ways. And then you can there's a lot of overlap and ideas. What you bring to the program, you can also really further your own research. And this culminating exam is an opportunity for you to show what you've learned and what you know. You will submit your compiled document to turnitin.com and then to the exam coordinator, which is currently me, on the thesis due date for the semester, which is also typically the final day of classes. And if you can go to the next slide, Dr. Sandals. And so you do have a little bit of information. You will have the entire semester to complete the exam. You do have to register for the exam within the first week of the semester. You will be assigned a chairperson who can help you with general big picture questions during the course of the semester. That's a new component that we've just started this semester. So we're still sort of figuring out what the parameters are of that, but that's another huge added benefit. The exam can only be taken in the final section of your program. So all of those core courses have to happen. That being said, I know that I do have some students who are taking a course concurrently and are registered for the final exam, which is a lot, but it's doable. And the exam can be retaken up to 3 times, and failure to submit the exam does count as an attempt if you don't drop the course before the drop add date. It's something to think about as you're planning. Sometimes it's better to kind of wait and extend that exam. Some people get it all done super fast and just go, go, go while it's all fresh. So that's the final exam. And then it gets parsed out to basically the faculty in the program. And we all work on the grading, and you get a culminating grade between those 3 assignments that you turn in, and you'll get one final grade. And that's basically it.
Thank you, Dr. Hayes. Thank you for that information. Next up, we have something that's probably pressing in the minds of many of you, which is the admissions requirements. Rochelle, are you up?
Yes. So the next slide you have. So we require a bachelor's degree from an accredited 4-year college or university and a culminating GPA of 3.0 or better in the last 60 semester units of all your coursework. So this does include your credential coursework as well, and a valid teaching credential. A couple of questions that students ask on these points regarding the GPA. If your GPA in your last 60 falls below the required 3.0, we do have a process for you to apply for exceptional admission between a 2.7 and a 2.9. There is additional paperwork and an application that you need to complete. What happens is once I receive your application and evaluate all of your GPA, if it does fall below, I will contact you and work with you on that process. And then the other question is in regard to a valid teaching credential. Many students coming in from CSUB are currently finishing their credential courses on our campus, and they are concerned that they wouldn't be able to apply to our program and be admitted. But if you have completed all of your credential coursework and you're just waiting for the state to issue your credential to you, we can offer you conditional admission pending the receipt of your actual credential from the state. So next slide. So for our program, we do utilize Cal State Apply. And if you go to our website, which Dr. Sandals provided a link in the chat, there is a link on the left-hand side of our main page. It says Apply Now. You will see the list of all the items required for admissions to our program. It's listed on your screen. It's listed on our website. And when you click the link to apply through Cal State Apply, it's also all available within our application. And one thing to note about Cal State Apply, if within the last year you have already applied to a credential program using that Cal State Apply process, it won't let you apply to a graduate program using that same email address that you used. So you'll need to create a new account on Cal State Apply with a separate email address, and then you can change your settings to apply to a graduate program. Again, the bachelor's degree, your credential, within the application, you will be provided a link for reference forms. You would send that reference form link to your reference. They email that directly back to us. And this information, there's instructions all on the forms and on the application itself. We don't require any formal reference letters, but we do require the reference forms. And then a statement of purpose. Again, it's a one-page document explaining your reasons for applying, basically what you bring to the table and why you feel you'll be successful as a candidate. Make sure that this is grammatically correct and well written. We have had students be denied to the program due to a poorly written statement of purpose. There is a technology survey within the Cal State application acknowledging that you are taking an online program and you have the skill set and the tools to be an online student. And then for transcripts, we do require one official transcript from all colleges you've attended. If you've attended Cal State Bakersfield for your bachelor's or your credential, we do not require you to submit any transcripts. I am able to pull those from our system. If for some reason I am unable to do so, I will contact you and let you know, and then we'll work through that process as well. And then there is a $70 application fee that you will pay via Cal State Apply as well. I believe that's it for the application requirements.
Okay, I think I'm going to jump in here at this point and move into registering and being what it is to be a CNI student. Most of you have been CSUB students for a really long time. And so you're used to Cal State Apply. You're used to taking classes on campus. And now after this year, you're used to taking online classes. The difference is that we are a part of it. We are extended education. We are part of Cal State. There's not really a difference other than the way that you register and you pay and the cost structure of your courses. Each course that you take is charged on a per unit basis. So it is $430 per unit. So each one of your classes will be $1,290 per class. That doesn't matter how many classes that you take, you're going to be paying separately. There's not like a 0 to 6 unit cost and a 6 to 12 unit cost. Each unit will be an additional charge. We are fully self-support. We don't receive any state budget, which is why it's important for you to understand that piece of it. Everything is financial aid eligible. The real positive thing about this is that Rochelle, that you just met, who walked you through the admissions, will be your advisor from start to finish through the program. So she'll take you from the very beginning. She'll answer any questions you have about payment, about financial aid, about registering, getting into Canvas, any problems that you have. She's your one-stop person. And if she has to refer you to the campus, she'll refer you to the exact person that you need to go to. So you're not going to have to worry about running around campus or figuring out what you have to do to get your questions answered. And what you don't want to do is make any assumptions that things are done the way they've always been done, because things are slightly different from registration to refunding. Things are different. So you're going to want to verify on our extended education website about anything having to do with the program. But again, it is a one-stop shop, and Rochelle, it will be the person that will guide you all the way through. I get a lot of positive feedback for her assistance. She knows the program inside and out, so she will be your help. We really look forward. We really appreciate this program. It is the largest program that we have. We've been running it since around 2001, and it has only gotten better over time. You will be able to attend the commencement ceremonies, even though you don't have to come to campus for anything regarding your classes. You will be able to attend the CSU Bakersfield graduate commencement ceremony. And there is no indication that it is an online program. You are part of CSU Bakersfield. You are a CSU Bakersfield student, and you are treated like a CSU Bakersfield student. And our CNI graduates, we have, I don't know, a few years, we've had the most CNI graduates of any of the graduate programs, I believe. It seems like that there are always a lot of them. So we really appreciate that you're interested in this, and we really look forward to helping you get your master's degree.
Thank you so much, Rhonda, for adding that addendum. I want to echo what you said. Michelle she's outstanding, I think, by every metric. Does everything. She's a one-stop shop, as you said. So I've gotten rave reviews from her or about her as well. You'll all find that that's true of you in your experience. At this point, we're going to pause and allow for questions to be asked. We know there are a few questions in the queue already. So as questions come up, please feel free to just place them in the queue. I'm going to defer to my colleague, Dr. Adriana Cervantes Gonzalez. Can you please take over, please, ma'am?
Absolutely. Thank you. So we do have a few questions. I'm going to start with the last one on here because Rochelle just talked about the admissions. When will students know if they were admitted into the program?
So there is a little bit of a process that happens with the applications. Once the application goes into Cal State Apply, then they get pulled into our admission site, and then I finally have access to them. So there's a little bit of delay there. But I would say within 2 to 4 weeks of you submitting your application, you will be contacted by me with the status of your application, or if anything's missing, you'll hear from me.
Thank you, Rochelle. And the next question, which was earlier on when we started, I hold a career and technical education endorsement through, through a planned certification program, that I earned while teaching in Washington State. Will some of my 90 hours of coursework transfer or substitute some of the electives? Who'd be able to answer that one?
I'll jump in really
Rhonda?
quickly. It's going to depend. We can't accept professional development hours as academic units. So it's going to depend on how those units show up on your transcript. If they're academic units and they have not been counted towards another degree, then we can use them. If they have counted towards another degree, we can't use the units, but we can waive certain requirements. But if they aren't academic units, then we can't accept them into the program.
Thank you, Rhonda. Got a couple more questions in the queue. Next, are you allowed to start the CNI Master's program while completing induction? Rochelle, you want to take that one?
Can I say that?
Go ahead, Dr. Sullivan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. That's an excellent question. In fact, historically, we had an area of emphasis that was aligned with the CFAS process and the induction program. The very core courses that you're taking, ranging from action research, instructional leadership, diversity, and literacy, and many others, actually are keenly linked to the induction process in many ways. It would be a great advantage when you take it, because that will be an added opportunity for you to narrow the gap between theory and practice, and apply what you're learning in the program and make sense out of what's going on in your teaching in your classroom. So it would be a great opportunity for you. One thing I want to caution you is any principal and superintendent will tell you, your success in the classroom is #1 priority, and do not put too much on your plate. That's why the program allows you to self-pace yourself. So don't say, I want to finish that master's in 2 semesters. No, just make sure that you are true to yourself, self-pace yourself. Your job is, especially in the first 2 years, your job in the classroom is #1 priority, and it's just a matter of balance. So in fact, historically, this has been really successful and working out well. And induction is an opportunity for you to put concretely in a meaningful way what you're learning from the tiers of classes, and whether they are core or electives, and it will enhance your knowledge and skill base simultaneously.
Thank you, Dr. Suleiman. And on that, just to add to the sequencing, the courses are not the 16 weeks, right? They're condensed into shorter versions, so that's consideration. Let's see. Another question here. Do we need to meet with anyone before enrolling for classes, or do we just start enrolling in classes? Also, when can we enroll in classes?
So it's not required for you to meet before you enroll in classes. Our outline is pretty straightforward. However, I would recommend reaching out at least once in your program so someone knows where you're at, and if there's any changes or deadlines that are coming up that you may not be aware of, I can let you know of those things. Every semester before the term begins and our schedule's available, I do send out an email with that information, letting you know that advising is open, that registration is available, how to go through that process. So you will be contacted, so you have the availability to reach out to me for any assistance.
Regarding schedules, most of the time, the campus schedule will come out before our schedule comes out. So that will be a little bit different. Normally, our schedule will open up the day that advising opens up for the campus. And that's when you'll know what classes you have. Sometimes it comes out a little bit earlier. For summer, we generally don't get our schedule finalized and up until it's around June, right, Rochelle? June or July?
For summer, it'll be about we're like the end of April.
Right, and then for fall?
Being finalized. Fall is more of June, July.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's where there's a gap in our schedules.
Right.
Thank you both. Another question. What is the maximum amount of units you can take in a 5-week summer session?
So for our graduate programs, our summer classes are 10 weeks long and they run the full 10 weeks. We do not offer 5-week summer classes for graduate programs. And the max amount of units you can take each semester is 15 units as a graduate student. Not necessarily advised, but it is the max allowed.
Thank you. Thank
Can
you.
I say something about this, specifically to the reading language arts authorization? Because 99% of the candidates who take advantage of that are full-time teachers. And not everyone have their own classroom in the summer, but we will work with you. There are alternative ways for some of those courses that require field placement and your own classroom. There are some alternative options. So even if you take one of those or one or two of those classes in the summer, and part of the coursework you have to be in the classroom, your own classroom ideally, we will work with you. We have alternative mechanisms where you could do some of those assignments.
Thank you.
And we've mentioned classes in the regular academic year. All of the classes are 8 weeks long. The only one that is not an 8-week class is your culminating. You do get the full 16-week semester to complete your culminating exam.
Thank you, Rhonda. We have one more question here in the Q&A. I was previously enrolled in the Education Leadership Program at CSUB, and I think maybe one or two of the classes are the same. Will those courses need to be retaken or will they be waived? Who would like to take that question?
I'll be more than happy to take this. That's an excellent question, by the way. Dr. Sandals and I actually were talking about that earlier in the one of those Zoom meetings, you know. We have always invested in our candidates from the time they take their first degree from us, the bachelor's, and then the credentials, and then they go into the master's programs. We have always made it easy for candidates to capitalize on what they have accomplished in the previous stages. For instance, we have in place, when you get your credential, we count at least one or two courses that will be carried to the master's electives. Likewise, there has always been some mechanism. If you took admin classes, we can look at those. There's a committee that actually evaluates those, but you cannot double dip. For instance, you can't double count one course for 2 degrees or for 2 certificates. You may bring the units, but we may recommend something else to fulfill that requirement. So we will take those case by case, and we can't give you a blanket formula for that unless we look at the transcripts and what course you took, how long ago, because there is some limit. If it's beyond 7 or 6 years, I believe, it's not going to help you much. But we will work with you on those case by case. We want to be careful of what statement we're going to make because everyone has a unique situation.
Thank you, Dr. Suleiman. Dr. Hayes, the next question here is for you. Will the culminating project exam involve research and data we collect in our classroom if we are a full-time teacher?
This is an excellent question, Kim. Because it depends upon when you take your exam, we do not require any actual data to be collected. What we ask you to do is use your context to find and identify your research, and then you will actually kind of more describe what you would do in your classroom, in your context, but it does not require that you have access to actual students and actual data.
I'm sorry I'm chatty today, but again, Dr. Sandals and I had talked about this. We do have an EDD program. We started that in 2010 jointly with CSU Fresno successfully, and we moved to a standalone in 2016-17. It has been growing, surviving, and thriving. We have been producing lots of great leaders. In fact, Dr. Sandals was in the first cohort that completed the program. My wife also was on the same cohort when we started jointly. And I'm sharing that with you, keep in mind that pathway. Eventually, you're going to find yourself beyond the master's degree looking at leadership doctorate or a PhD of some kind. We can't offer PhDs, but it's a strictly EDD program. The PhDs are kind of offered at the UC system. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is one of the major admission items for the EDD program is to produce and present and provide a previous sample of a rigorous academic writing, an artifact such as a master's thesis or a master's project. So you really need to take that culminating activity project seriously. Not necessarily you're going to collect, as Dr. Hayes pointed out, the data and then do original research, but you need to articulate your ability in showing the skill and knowledge of how to interact with the existing body of literature within the scope and the focus of the topic of the culminating exam. And that we typically it's called comprehensive exam. So you have to reflect that comprehensive knowledge and skill base when you work on that document, and we'll guide you through that process. So keep that in mind and look at the bigger picture throughout your journey.
Thank you, Dr. Suleiman. And we'll take this last question, and then I'm going to pass it over back to you, Dr. Sandals. I completed my credential program during the 2017-2018 year. At what point are those units no longer applicable towards this degree?
So for the graduate program, all of your units and classes on your program outline at the time of graduation have to be within 7 years. So a good rule of thumb for your credential coursework is anything within the last 5 years. That gives you some time to finish the courses that you need for your master's degree.
Thank you. And Dr. Sandals, I'll check in the chat, but I think that was the questions on our Q&A here.
Thank you so much, Adriana. And thank you so much to all of you attendees for your questions and for being in attendance this evening. You all were very much engaged and your questioning was very high level. We want to provide you with some contact information for many of those who spoke today. Unfortunately, I did not capture Rhonda Dawson's email information, nor did I capture Rochelle Sawyer's email information, but you can find that online, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at the CNI site, if I'm not mistaken. But I would really encourage you to take a screenshot, take a cell phone pic of this information so that you have it readily available. And with that, as we bring things to a close, we just wanted to offer, again, a sincere thank you to everyone. We look forward to fielding your continued questions and any conversations you'd like to start regarding potential research projects and so forth. Please throw those our way. And with that, we're going to bring this meeting to a close.